Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. More, hate less, read comics. It's Blake's Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
Hey, buzz, buzz, babies! I forgot to share my screen while the intro was playing. We're off today, but it's gonna be fine because I have a guest who's gonna put me right back on track, fill me up with life and wonder and stories. I love talking to this guy. I can't wait to bring him out. Real quick, first of all, how's it going, everybody? Happy New Comic Book Day. Happy Wednesday. We're halfway done with the week, and we're getting to Friday, and this is the first. It's the first of three. We got it figured out. First of three Blake's Buzz lives. I got some cool stuff coming up. Like I said, what a great way to kick off this powerhouse trio. But first, real quick, you guys, I think you've heard of Metal Ninja Studios before, right? It's on the screen. It's in my pro. I work there. We are doing a really cool Kickstarter for Jonathan Hedrick's Brackish. This is our first outside of Dust County Chronicles publishing. This is a big deal for us. We are 1 week into it. It's a 3-week campaign. It's very cool. It's like a violent love story, Romeo and Juliet out in the Florida swampland. It's really cool. Art is gnarly. I love Jonathan Hedrick. I know a lot of you are familiar with him. It's very, very cool. I don't know, the way he tells love stories. He did it before with Caffeinated Hearts. He's doing it again with Brackish. Really encourage you guys to check this out. MNSKickstarter.com. That'll get you there. That's Mike November Sierra. There we go. Mike November Sierra Kickstarter, Metal Ninja Studios, basically. Anyways, enough of me and my bullshit. That's not what we're here to talk about tonight. That's not what all you wonderful people are tuning in, commenting for tonight. He's back for the 6th, 7th, 8th. I don't know how many fucking times he's been on this show, but he's always welcome because he's always awesome and he's always got a great fucking book coming out on the shelves. Mr. David Hazan is in the house. Oh my God. Oh my God.
The soundboard is wild.
Jesus. Wow.
The glow up, since last time.
Woo. Rocking out. What's up, baby? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm having a great week, actually.
I feel like you're. I've been seeing this article popping up all over the internet about a certain new comic book that I had to fucking sign an NDA in blood for this guy. It was a year ago, maybe you were showing me stuff of this, and you were like,
supposed to be saying that, but that's
it's just kidding. He didn't show me stuff, but he was whispering it, and he was like, if you tell anyone, I'll end you. But no, it's so cool to finally. The news is out there. Everybody's excited. You're getting news coverage. I guess you said you're feeling good. Is that part of the reason? The reception?
Yeah, it definitely lifted my week up.
Yeah.
Book announcements are always fun because it's all hype, Yeah. Nobody's reviewing your books and shit canning them. So
yeah.
Because nobody's seen anything other than the gorgeous fucking art, which is
Sammy. Oh man. I guess let's do this right. I always mess this up and I talk about the book and praise it and go on and on and on. And then I don't no one knows the title. No one knows what it's about. So tell us, David, tell us in the words of the scribe himself, sitting here live on Blake's Buzz across the planet in Australia.
Apparently it's only to Australia, judging by the comments.
Oh yeah, it's we got what's up? Gary's in the house. What's up, Gary? We got Ronan. What's up? It's a strong. I love it. Hopefully one day I get to go there and not get eaten by a giant insect or snake or I don't know all that crazy stuff you guys do. But yeah, all right. So
Kosher Mafia.
There we go.
Yeah. I mean, the title kind of says it all. It's about Jewish organized crime, specifically in Cleveland, Ohio in the 30s. And it stars sort of this unassuming and nebby sheep bookkeeper, Howard Berkowitz, who's trying to spur his superiors into taking action against the sort of rising tide of American domestic Nazism, and as a result, for unscrupulous reasons, ends up on the wrong end of an enforcer's gun.
Mm.
And the tale unfolds from there.
It sure as shit does, sir. I almost messaged you after I read it, but I was like, no, I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit him with it live. I love Nottingham. Okay, and I've got a you gave me a nice chunk of taste of that too, to dive into before the show, which I super appreciated. But this is my I can one issue in is my favorite thing you put out. Like it's fucking perfect. It is a perfect premiere. It's like I say that not lightly. I say that not lightly
because I've heard that before. For this book from people at Mad Cave, I was like, yeah, you're just like, I thought it was just people blowing smoke up my ass. Like I wasn't really convinced, but you might have convinced me. You might have finally broken through the sort of, whatever barriers that are keeping my ego in check.
Cool. All right. Well, because Mark London PayPal'd me a large sum of money. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, this is to date what I've read from you. The favorite thing, and I read it like back to back, basically with the new issues of Nottingham. Right. Like so, like one of my favorite books back. Dropped a, pun intended, dropped a massive load right on me, right? And like I was just like, boom. I got that load of Hazan. Like, God damn it. I'm gonna run with this the whole episode, but it was it was just a wonderful experience altogether reading them, getting prepped for the show. But it's so good, dude. It's so perfect. The choice to not stay linear, right? But the fact that the flashbacks, the other timeline is only a few hours away, right? Oh my God, I loved it. So the little breadcrumbs and the cross cuts in the end, and this, I can't say a lot. I can't yet, right? But like, oh, it's so good. It's so good, dude. How much research went into this? Because it wasn't until I read the Brubaker Phillips book about like after World War II when the I can't think of the name of it. I should probably look it up, but we're live. Anyways, I didn't realize that until like a couple years ago when we're seeing Nazis fucking marching in the streets waving these gross flags and shit, right? I didn't realize that like this was a thing, right? And it's even crazier like right after World War II, right? Like all these deaths, everything we fought for as a country, and all these people we lost, right? And there's like these like underground fucking Nazi clubs. I didn't know. I was very, very ignorant to that because like they don't teach you that in school. I went to college too, right? And I didn't take like a lot. I only took the history classes I needed to, but these weren't things that were taught to me. Anyways, was a lot of this like knowledge known to you? Like, or did you do like a lot of research, like picking this specific area, and the time period and the state and all, like, tell me about this. Tell me how this story came to be.
It kind of weirdly all came together. It's kind of in the same way as Nottingham. It all just kind of like clicked, and the ducks just somehow ended up in a row. So I started with this premise of like Jewish mobsters. I don't think we've seen like enough Jewish mobsters for my liking. So I decided I wanted to do that. Then the setting was like a product of, well, I'm telling this story about two like Jewish men with kind of oppositional views about life, what if I set it in the place where Superman was born? Like, I feel like there was some sort of like resonance about comics that I was like, oh, what if we just set it in this place? And I started Googling like um what the sort of activity of these pre-World War II um Nazi organizations were. People like the Friends of New Germany, the Silver Shirt Legion, and also the German American Bund. And I found this gigantic paper that somebody had written, which went through in detail from post World War One all the way up to World War Two, all of these sort of pseudo-Nazi organizations, specifically in Cleveland. And then I was like doing some research about the mob in Cleveland, and it all just kind of came together. And I was like, this works. And next minute I had an outline. Initially pitched it to a publisher who shall remain nameless. Then ended up sort of retooling it a little bit and pitching it to Mad Cave. And they like immediately threw their full support behind it. It was so strange how it just was like, it went from this book that I was frustrated that I couldn't get over the line somewhere else to, oh, we're like already halfway through issue 1. And it just happened. It just all kind of worked.
That's awesome. Gary is in the chat singing it praise too. He says the same thing. This is absolutely unequivocally wow. Way to use bigger words than I did, bud. No, he's another one of those writer types. No, I love Gary. It is his best book. I will point out though that apparently Gary and the entire staff at Mad Cave told David the same thing, but it wasn't until he came on Blake's Buzz and heard it from this horse's mouth that the nays happened. Okay. So that was stupid. I did it though. It was me. That's why I just want everybody to know. No, I'm kidding. You did it.
Thirsty. I wanted to know it was me.
Also, what's up, Cole? Cole's happy Monday. Wait, no. God damn it. He gets me all the time. Now they're going to start talking about hot dogs and throw me off. No.
Well, it's Thursday here and Wednesday for you.
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So already we're time jumping. And that's amazing because this comic is timeless, right? It really is. Unfortunately, it's timeless for a really sad, shit, pathetic fucking reason, right? But it really is timeless. The thing there's so much just like rampant anti-Semitism and blatant racism. I mentioned earlier, there's not they'll wear the armbands, they'll wave the flags, right? They'll march in the streets. It's crazy, right? That we as a society we can't move past this shit. But yeah, that timelessness of it is kind of hopeless. But you provide like this spark in the darkness, even though like we know what happens, right? Like obviously they don't stop Hitler. Well, I get unless I don't know, unless you go like super crazy fiction and like I guess I don't know where, but if it is semi-historical, like regard the spoiler alert, we didn't stop Hitler, folks. Sorry. It was in the news. But they where am I going, David? What am
I think let me help. I think a lot of I wasn't interested in specifically writing Holocaust fiction, and quite frankly, I do think that people need a sort of contextual readjustment on like where anti-Semitism came from and where it's going.
Okay.
And I feel like the focus on Hitler and the camps kind of doesn't it gives people a certain sort of like limited picture of what it's like. And I even talked about it a bit in Nottingham, which is that the ideas for the Yellow Star, the ideas for ghettos, it's a medieval idea.
Yeah.
It's not a modern idea. Hitler borrowed those ideas. And so I wanted to give a fuller picture of kind of the idea that these things weren't just limited to that specific time and place. And there were a lot of things going on worldwide and continue to be. And it's a story about punching fascists. Like,
Yeah.
but
Well, and
also, like,
also you got me.
the villain isn't necessarily like the Nazis are almost there for set dressing too, so it's interesting.
Okay.
The villain, I feel, this story isn't quite what you'd think it will be in the first issue.
Okay. Interesting. I don't want to wait. I don't.
If I had the issues ready and let it, I'd throw them your way.
I know.
Nobody else has seen the amount of sorry, Mayor Cave. Nobody else has seen the amount of Nottingham Volume 3 that you have. Okay.
Oh, really?
Let's be clear. I did tease you I did send you everything but the last issues.
I know. I was like, okay, well, I was very careful to like know what, because I mean, like, what is it? 12 comes out in a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I was very careful because I basically knew like for this, I couldn't say really much at all other than like, I just absolutely loved it. And I'm like flipping through it right now. Like that, this art is crazy. But yeah, where did the title? Is that a were they called that, or is this you like being clever as fuck? Like what?
No, that they were kind of called that. It's an evolution of they were called the Kosher Nostra, right?
Okay.
Which is an affectation of the Cosa Nostra, which is what the Italians were called.
Okay.
So the Italian mob were called the Cosa Nostra, and so the Jews ended up being called the Kosher Nostra, and then that somehow evolved into the Kosher Mafia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it, and I love like the cover, and yeah. So
I did more research for this than I did for Nottingham.
That's crazy because you did well. You're also a huge, because I remember you're a huge history nerd too. Like,
I'm just an idiot with the entire collected knowledge of the human race at my fingertips. That's the real. That's the real thing. I'll just read shit.
Yeah. Crazy what can happen, right? When you read the power of reading. People forget. But no, yeah, I'm glad because this is cool. Like, I don't know, it's different. I really liked Drag Assassin too. Okay, so like, and that was very different too. But like when you go to these, you kind of have a different, I don't know, like I feel like the farther you go back in time, maybe it's just you find something in these other timelines, kind of, and like you find these granules of history and explore them in really wonderful ways, and then you mix it very intelligently with like modernized storytelling and even like modernized tropes. And I don't say the trope word to be offensive, but just like there's a universality that us living in the now can get while reading Nottingham, right? Like when I see Mary, like and that red hair and like just all the power, and it's just and it's just like, yeah, like fuck, I step on me, and it's and it's just like that, and like that generational like desire, what power does, the intoxication of it all, I don't know if you find this stuff that everybody experiences.
The interesting thing is, I kind of, when I do this historical stuff, historical fiction is like a tiny leap away from just like regular superhero comics in terms of approach for me, in that often when you're reading superhero comics, you can see the writers like dancing between the raindrops of established continuity. in that they're trying to either tease something out of the established continuity that hasn't been teased out yet, or they're trying to do something different, but sort of fit it like a puzzle piece into the continuity, even if they have to sort of give it a good old shove, right? And
Yeah.
my frame of reference for the historical stuff is I just view the history as like a form of continuity. I'm like, all right, well, how
That's
do
so
I fit
genius.
this story that I want to tell into this continuity in a way that validates people who enjoy the historical element of it in the same way that I would trying to validate people who enjoy the continuity of superhero comics. It's
Wow.
it's 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 an identical process.
So I mean, yeah. I mean, comics and pop culture. It's all. I mean, it's all supposed to reflect, and art too, right? It's supposed to reflect life and mirror certain aspects of the everydayness of our being. But and then it's so funny too because you still have these people, call like, don't put too much life in my comics. I want to escape. Like, get me out. Just anyway, we're not gonna go there, but you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I love that is so. I would have never put the two of those together, like historical fiction and superhero comics. So what does that mean for like you and superhero comics? Like that is that a road that I know we've talked about it kind of before, but also you're at a level of your career, right, where theoretically maybe already this is something you're gonna have to start thinking about. And
I'd like to.
you would, yeah.
I'm waiting for that opportunity, and if it strikes, I'll take it. But I'm just here doing my thing. If somebody notices me, that's fine. Otherwise, I'll keep doing my thing.
But even like the indie side of like, it's harder to market and you gotta be it's hard, it's tricky. But you haven't really chosen to tell like the indie side of superheroes. I don't know, like I know you're a nerd and I know there's a deep respect for it, but when you say smart shit like that, when you're like, historical fiction is this is my David Hazan fancy voice and it doesn't sound anything like you, but when historical fiction is just like the superhero story, Blake, you didn't know that, duh, and it's no, but when you say stuff like that, I feel like this guy, as much as I kind of don't want to say this, I'm going to say it, like, should be telling superhero stories. Like, people that have that kind of intellect and want to bring that to the comic script are the people we need telling superhero stories, not someone who's fucking putting cheesecake pancake batter down on a skillet while some fucking artist saves them and flips the pancake in time, right? God, that was good.
Look,
That was good.
I would not disparage any of my fellow creators like that. Look, honestly,
they're not my friend. Like,
that,
not my friend. My friends are all doing great stuff.
you know what gross generalizations are like on the internet, right?
I know, and I'm a hypocrite. I've said that before. But some people don't want
to tell superhero stories. I don't have like, honestly, if I had a career goal property, it'd probably be Star Wars. Like, there are a few like superheroes that I like might be interested in, but honestly, I take the view that I'm not gonna like have any sort of back pocket pitches for that. Let somebody come to me, let them tell me what they want from me. It's editors are always like this. Like, they need to fill a specific niche usually. Until you're at a point where you can like start sort of throwing your weight around and do the things that you really want to do. Sometimes it's just about listening and going, hey, like, what are you looking for? Which characters are available? Like, you just, I just don't take anything as a given until it sort of starts to eventuate in my life.
Okay. Yeah.
And like, I'm hunting for work. Like, I'm going out. I was just having a conversation with another creator about cold emailing editors. It's just like it's just the name of the game.
I don't know. Is that okay? Like,
Yeah, to anybody who is an aspiring comic book creator, be polite, be concise, but there's no problem cold emailing. This is a Christoph Borges special in terms of just sort of approaching editors, which is that you need to reset your mindset. If you think you're bothering an editor, it is their job to field new talent, and so you emailing them is potentially you doing them a favor.
that is true. Yeah, you're making their job easier.
And if they don't reply, that's okay. If they do reply and turn you down, that's also okay. That's even better, because the next thing you have coming out, you just shoot it their way. You say, hey, got this new thing, you mind if I send it through? And one day you'll either end up with a friend or work, one of those two things, or both.
I was gonna say a friend or worse, and I was like, that's quite the spectrum. That's
a friend or I'd rather
it's kind of perfect. I like it too. It's kind of hey, look, only one of two things is gonna happen. You're either gonna leave with a friend or worse. Like, but yeah, I think being the polite and respectful. Here's what I get hung up on, and I don't email a lot of editors. I email editors for like press sites for stuff, for like clients sometimes, right? And that is most often. Sometimes people will throw me an email, but I'm rarely am I like introduced to someone like that. They're usually cold emails, but even that, or like scheduling guests or stuff like that. Like, what's your fault? Like, and I know it's different for everybody, and it's but like, how are you an aggressive follow-upper? I stress out about this a lot. Like, I'm so scared of like being annoying or being weird or people being like, wow, Blake kind of sucks, right? Like, like,
I probably wouldn't follow up on him more than like once a fortnight.
Okay.
I think usually I'll try for like once a month. And even then, I'm not particularly good at that, because things that are not immediately in front of me escape my notice pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Like, it seems to have worked for me. So like, one editor contact I left for a couple of months after New York Comic Con, and then like the new year happened, and I was like, you know what? Like, it's early Feb. I'll send this email now, and it still worked. Like,
Nice.
It's not necessarily about the frequency. It's just sometimes about striking at a time when this person is available. So as long as you're not pissing them off by doing it too much, the more you do it, the more likely it is that you'll hit their inbox at the right time. Say, for example, when they've just sat down on their Monday morning and they're like, this is the first thing that I see, they're more likely to respond to it. It's just, it's just luck and opportunity striking at the same time.
Striking them with that Hazan
that's
load.
Networking for you.
Perfect opportunity.
Mercurial art of networking.
Yeah, no, it was just oddly enough, what you would think. I mean, I'm not bad at it, but it's just I'm bad at like I said, I get I think everybody knows I'm kind of fucked in the head, but like like I just I get real nervous and antsy, and I'm very, very worried about like aggravating people or annoying people, and then because I'm like it's just like if you like really messed up or something, or like I did that interview with a big person, and like drop my drink and hit the microphone and hit the button on the sound, and it was like a whole deal, and like everybody laughed and it was funny, and then their PR person was like, oh, you can be like the technical difficulties guy, and like everybody, like they laughed and had fun with it, but it that could have gone, like if it went the other way and they were like, wow, this dude is an unprofessional weirdo.
I think you like knocked something over, which is a very normal human thing.
And you have to be perfect all the time, David.
If anybody immediately forms a thought that you're an unprofessional weirdo from that, they don't deserve your time. And I think that also being a bit sort of mercenary about that, where you're like, if this person is disrespecting the time and effort that I'm putting in, then they're not worth my time and energy, including if they're at a great publisher that I really wanted to work with. You know, I'm just like, look, I could be spending a bunch of time knocking on this door that will never open.
Yep.
And will occasionally open just for someone to kick me in the shins. Or I could like focus that energy elsewhere. And
Yeah. That's a good point.
I don't know. I feel like some sort of like Zen philosophy about it all, but it's really just being a bit like prioritizing how you invest your time.
Well, yeah, that's one thing I've learned in the last year is that time is worth a lot more fucking money than I thought it was. Especially mine. Especially like, but now I don't reinforce that because I do not take my own advice, right? But I do. I mean, I just never really realized it before. Or then like, but even like seeing like when artists get asked to change stuff or like how much effort goes into relettering something, like, you know, stuff that like a lot of normal comic readers don't
You've
see.
identified somewhere where I feel sheepish about saying things. Where I always feel sheepish about giving notes to artists.
Oh, really?
And I will say this: I feel like it's a good check and balance on like what is worth being a note to an artist and what is worth saying nothing about and just letting them do their thing. I'm just like, oh, if I feel too uncomfortable about giving this note, maybe it's not worth giving. Maybe it's not actually improving the work. Maybe it's just my own ego. So I will say that is an area where I think everyone could sort of like be a bit more tempered about what notes they give, how they give those notes. But usually people are pretty collaborative because it's comics and that's kind of the premier thing. That's what we do.
Do you give Shane a lot of notes?
I
set him straight because he's a rock star.
I gave Shane at the beginning too many notes.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did he tell you to start?
Like we were both starting, and like I was not like familiar with how he functioned, and once I got that, and like again, both of our first book, right? Once I got that, which was probably like midway through issue 3, I was like, oh, this is like, and specifically as the issue 3 pages started to come in, I was like, actually, this is much easier than I'm trying to make it.
Nice.
Next thing,
that's cool.
You know, we're at issue 15.
Yeah.
We're literally just waiting for the letters on issue 15, and we're done. Wild. Really.
It is crazy. It's so like, it's crazy. Like I remember people fighting over the first few issues. Like I joke around about I joke around with Mad Cave about it all the time. I think they're always like, shut up, Blake, we don't talk about that. Yeah, I mean, like there were like, I don't think there were like real fights in shops, but like I heard stories that like some shops were like, customers were kind of yelling at people about this Nottingham book, like, and because like, and some shops would get like, especially if it like didn't get pre-ordered, they'd get like 1 or 2 books, right? And then like all of a sudden people are like, oh, these are selling for 20, 30, 40 bucks on eBay, and then those like scalper people are going in, you know, swooping them up, and then people were like trying to buy them and couldn't, and they're all being sold for a crap ton of money.
That pissed me off. I will
yeah,
say.
that was a bummer.
The whole scalping situation. I'm just like, I'm sitting there with my first book, like excited for people to read it, and like, yeah, it's exciting to have the book sell out, but then when you realize that, like, it's selling out because people are trying to stop people from reading it, it's just awful. I'm like, everybody should be able to read this thing. Like, comics are a disposable medium. Sorry to all the collectors out there, but just like, and don't get me wrong, they're a great audience, and I enjoy like immensely seeing people other than Shane do Nottingham art, especially on like variant covers.
Yeah.
But something frustrates me about that sort of like, let's hoard all this, all these books because they're meant to be read.
Yeah. No, it is a bummer. I remember I won a Mad Cave contest. I was not I think Blake's Buzz was a thing. I don't think I was on their press list or anything yet. And I won a poster in the first issue. And it was, and like in the first issue, like it was sold out everywhere, and I got one. So like that was cool. And then I've, I loved it and got hopped on board hard. And then I got all the I ordered from the shop. Especially when because some of them got what 5 or 6 different printings. So like
six printings of issue 1.
yeah, I knew.
And by the way, I should also spruik that Nottingham Volume 1 is in previews again in Spanish this time. That's pretty cool.
Cool. Multinational, or wait, that's not a real word, is it? Isn't it multinational?
It is.
Okay. It sounds wrong. It sounds weird.
Yeah. It's fine. It's a word that exists.
You're spreading it all over the world, basically. Which is good because the world needs David Hazan. The world needs all the David Hazan comics. Like all your books should be released in every language. It's taught in schools.
Well, let's just get them released in one.
No, David, all over the world. We're going all out or none. You got this. You got to manifest it. You got to put it out there. No. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, some of them. Talking of publishers who we shall not name, some of them are sitting there in the ether, probably never to be read by anyone, which really sucks.
Yeah.
But that's life. Anybody who's looking to get into this industry, you will have disappointments, but it's the best job in the world still. So
yeah. I've been stuff has been pretty stressful for me lately. And then just like the new dog, I love her so much, but it's still like it's getting used to it. And she doesn't like when I work, or just like right before we went live, I'm setting up because there's like my streaming area is there, like I work inside usually now because that's where the dogs are. But I come out here because you can't hear like people's TVs and the dogs and shit. But anyway, I'm setting up, and she comes out here and she's sniffing a pile of laundry. Dude, we've had this dog for a month, not one in-house accident, and she's sniffing this pile of laundry and then like. I'm like, are you squatting on my clothes? And she just squatted and peed on my clothes for like, no. And I'm like, why? Like I'm going live in 12 minutes, like Coco. And then so it was a pile of dirty clothes. They had to be washed anyway. Luckily I grabbed them all, ran through them in the water, but I was just like, it was so weird. But anyways, just like things get stressful a lot. And a couple of my friends do insurance and they make pretty good money. And they're like, Blake, we could get you a job, work remote. You make so much money. But like, I don't know, like today I was getting a cover guide ready for a client and I pitched an idea and everybody thought it was a cool idea and our designer made it. And then the client liked it. And I was like, oh, that was a really cool feeling. And it was for a comic book cover. So like, that's cool. A lot of people don't get to do that at their job. And it's, and then once you start like telling stories and doing stuff like that too. Yeah. It's intoxicating. It's a mean industry sometimes, but it's intensely emotionally rewarding. It's very much a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah. With that, emotional investment comes, lower
danger,
lows, also higher highs, and especially when you're like literally, blood, sweat, tears, heart, and soul on the page, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both writers and artists and colorists and letterers and even editors. Like the amount of emotional investment that I've had some editors put into my projects is super validating, first of all. Nice. But also just like it makes it all worth it, when it feels like everybody's working towards the same goal. You like even when editors throw their support behind a pitch, that's the peak of like interacting with editors when they believe in you, even though there are a whole bunch of question marks about what this book is going to be like, and they're still like, you know what, like I'm wholeheartedly in support of this, let's do it. And it's awesome.
Yeah, I can't imagine. That's gotta be a crazy feeling, right? It's it's so
especially
cool.
Like I gotta say, Chaz Pangburn at Mad Cave is just like the best.
Everybody loves that guy. Yeah, everybody's
He's
always singing his
good guy.
praises.
Listen, like, talk about people who wear their heart on their sleeve. This guy got Chaz got a man cave tattoo 2 weeks after starting work.
Did he really? I didn't know that. That's crazy.
I get to New York Comic Con and meeting these people for the first time, and Chaz is like, "Look at my tattoo." I'm like, "Dude, for real?"
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like some of the like another publisher like getting hired and doing that and then not like
Well,
anyways,
some of the other publishers, who shall remain nameless.
yeah, I don't want to throw shade, but also
And
do better business too. But you know,
look, gratifyingly, me and Alex finally signed the contracts to exit our scout arrangement.
yay!
And so, sad how that turned out, but look, very excited for what we're trying to do next. So, and looking at what Alex is doing now, I'm like, you're set. Like,
Yeah, they're on
yeah.
a path, and just so wonderfully talented too.
You're just a
Like,
wonderful human being.
mhm. Really good people. Great voice and presence in the indie community. I was so bummed that night that we went live for that book, like and it was so like I got to read the first two or three. I think I got to read 3 of them. I think 3 were done, maybe.
There are 4 in the drive now.
Yeah, I saw the 4th one was there, and I was like, oh, and I got, but like you had them done, like it was either 2 or 3 like done early. I think it was only 2, but anyways, like it was like early morning for you. It was 3 a.m. for Alex, I think. It was 9 p.m. for me, I think. But like, and we just so much laughing and all the love, you could just feel it that you two put in that book, and that sucked.
We had fun doing it, and we made like a really good book.
Yeah, you did. Made a great book. Yes, you did.
Yeah, and look, whatever happens with it, we'll figure out what to do with it. We're not in a rush.
You're both busy. I mean,
I mean, we've got we've got things going on.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we've got a finished book in our back pockets. So editors, my inbox is open.
Yeah. I know a couple cool play, but I mean, I can't pitch. That would be weird. But I know there are some very cool indie publishers that would be a good home for. That I've heard good things about. But also, yeah, like you said, you got stuff going on. You can think about it. You can be a little more careful about it, or like how you can release it totally differently. You come out and do a graphic novel, or there's a lot of things you could.
I think I'd like to do it that way. Like, I think we're at a point where we've 2 issues have been out in the wild for a while now, and I think I just want to serve a full trade. So I feel like if we did Kickstarter, we'd do it that way. But if we find a publisher, that's what they may want to do anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for the prospect of doing something with that. Because
what is your thoughts on
the final caption on the last page of that book says "End of Volume 1."
Yeah.
So I'd really like to do more, but
I knew you had that the story could keep going. I remember you told me that early on. What are your thoughts on after the second Requiem campaign?
Kickstarter is
crowdfunding.
Psychological torture.
Yeah, it is.
I would prefer
you feed it your soul and money, and then your comic gets made.
So I've just got I've got the lettering pass on Requiem 2 to review this week.
Nice.
And then hopefully we'll start sort of updating backers and getting moving on printing and shipping because it's been a couple of months and we've just been scattered and we need to sort of collect ourselves and get this book done and in people's hands.
I thought your first 2 campaigns were like spaced. I don't. Your second campaign came a lot sooner than I thought. That's what
Yeah,
you
I
said.
think we look. I think in an ideal world, we probably wouldn't have started with a 5-issue mini on Kickstarter. We would have just done, like a one shot or
Big
a
one shot.
twofer.
Yeah.
But look, having committed to the bit now,
Too late now. Yeah, you got to do it.
yeah,
I'd be
we're
so
gonna get it
pissed
done.
if you guys were like, we'll
Yeah,
finish
but
it
if I
later.
was gonna do that right, I'd do 4 or 5, and then I'd just leave it there. Like
Yeah.
uh, if I was gonna tease people like that, I'd get them right to the edge.
Nice. That's you sick bastard.
I don't know. Well, we have all intentions of finishing it. Phil is very busy at the moment, and so so I need to nail down the issue 3 script, and then we're going to try and finish it before, like, 4 and 5 before he even touches 3. So that's the
Nice.
plan.
Nice. Phil is so cool. I'm so glad
He's
you
so
guys
cool.
brought him on the show and I got to meet him. Like I don't know if you remember, like he drew me.
Oh yeah,
He
he did a commission for you for free.
for free. Well, it's still how it happened. He drew Laura, X23 Wolverine, and I was like, that's so. And even on the live stream, because that was one of the samples on the Kickstarter page, because he was doing commissions for it, and I was like, oh my god, dude, she's perfect, she's so good, and I was like, that's amazing, and he hit me up afterward, and he was like, hey man, shoot me your address, like I'm gonna send you Laura, and I was like, oh my god, and then he was like, I can't find her. And he was like, so like, who do you want? And I was like, and then I like spiraled. And then I didn't regret. Hopefully one day I can come back to him, but like I got Magic and she's amazing, but I'm slowly, I don't know. It's weird how it kind of happened. Like I have a Savage Rogue collection that's happening. And I'm like, it'd be cool to like commission a bunch of different artists to do like Savage Rogue too. Or maybe, I don't know if that'd be cool. It'd be cool, but it would also be like you have a whole bunch of like art of the same shit, and I feel like I don't know. I don't know.
Fun, like with different artists. The first thing that I have a digital sheriff from Phil that he just randomly drew. He was like, "Hey, check this out." I was like,
That's cool,
dude. Yeah, it's very cool.
I was gonna there in issue 12. This isn't a big. Well, if I tell you what is happening, it'll be a spoiler, so I won't tell you.
You can have a bit of breadth with Nottingham.
Okay. Well, there's our old sheriff is cornered in issue 12. And
like not a surprise.
Yeah, but all the masked merrymen are around him, right? And it was Sean always draws him big, right? And all of them are like a lot. They're big, hulking. Some of them are like hunched over, almost like abhuman like. He like puts some weird like monster into the soldier, and I love it. But like the guys always look big. But I've never seen the sheriff's size work so well. And it's not even a big panel. It's like a tiny sliver. Yeah. And he looks.
Oh, fuck. That page is so good.
It's an amazing page. But that one, he's so much bigger than all these little twig men. And I'm just, it like kind of took my breath away, dude. It was so cool. And it sucks that like I knew it's gonna end, right? It has to end, but like what a saga. And it's so cool that you guys have gotten to do explore it, go longer, the additional volumes and stuff, and the support at Mad Cave. But yeah, and you mentioned something to me, which of course we can't talk about. But we can't ever talk. Everything David tells me we can't ever talk about.
Like, look, I don't think this is a secret, but this is the end of the like main Nottingham story that I started way back when.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of this world.
Okay. There we go. Okay. And the gang is going to stay together in the world, or are you going
Well,
to?
that's a spoiler, Blake.
Okay. And not like the well, I meant the creator gang, like you and
Oh,
Shane. And
look, I think it's just all about people's schedules. Like Shane is touring again, so that
yeah.
obviously sort of limits. And he's also got his own books that he's working on because he's decided that he can write, which he can. Spoiler alert.
Nice.
And I'm just like, oh, you don't need me, which is always fun. But like, I'm enjoying seeing just him drawing the things he loves to.
Is that
draw,
does he have
right?
something out yet? Or
Um,
I don't. Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know if I
something that
missed
has
something.
not
Maybe.
yet been announced,
Okay.
but
Okay.
bits of it are public knowledge.
Okay.
So,
That's cool. Well, I'm glad. Well, I mean, I know like Justin gets tons of work. He's a great letterer. And then you're getting out there. Luke. Well, no. I think my
where'd you
camera.
go, Blake?
I think I'm here. I think
Technical
I think my camera just died. Weird. Anyway, but like it's cool. Like all of you guys getting like, getting work done. There we go. I don't know what my $1,000 camera just shut off. That's cool. That's fucking awesome. It might be no, because it's been like that. It can go for like 4 hours. Is it hot? It's kind of hot. I don't know. That's weird. All right, I'll worry about that later. You get all this nice shit. You're like, oh, let's get this, level up the stream. You level up you get these lights and these cameras, and then these fucking break and everything. Everything. Where I was the other day.
Everyone.
Yeah. Well,
I bought one of these fancy microphones as well. And decided that I was going to use speakers because I just hate having a headset on all day. And it's mostly less for podcast and mostly for like the day job.
oh yeah.
I'm just like, I hate having the headset on all day, even if I'm like listening to music or doing meetings. I'm just like, I just like being free. And not having a big
I
button
sweat.
in
Like
head.
my ears are are moist little muffins right now. What the fuck?
Listen, dude. You're gonna have to clip that moist little muffins, like little sound bite.
Yeah. I've been taking notes.
For your OnlyFans, Blake.
Oh yeah,
we've already talked about this. It's happening.
I've been. I find it because the last few live streams I've done, I finally. I used to write tons of poetry, so I used to have all these little moleskin, the tiny journals. I used to keep one in my back pocket all the time. Anyway, so I still got some sitting around. I take them to cons to take notes during panels, but I finally have been remembering to like have it when I'm live, so that when you say smart shit or we have a good laugh or something, I can jot the time down and clip it and make shorts later. Because apparently, if you don't make shorts, you're just dead. You're just dead fish in the water. And so that's been my mistake for the last few months. I haven't been a short slut like everybody else. Everybody wants that minute content. Blake, that hour and a half interview was great. Smash that down into 1 minute. We'll love it.
Yeah, I've given you some sound bites.
Oh no, you've given me tons of you're always an awesome chat. It's just all my interviews like always run long unless it's like a bigger PR deal, and they're like you get 20 minutes or you get 30, and it's like one of those deals, and someone's like moderating and then they're like, all right, one more question, Blake, and it's but even then, like that's like a 30-minute interview, and everybody wants these, like, not everybody, like people watch the interviews, obviously, but it's just, it's like long form content is because it's, I don't know, man. Remember like live streamers? Like they used to be like the 24 hours, like we're streaming for 24 hours. People donate for, I don't know, like that used to be a thing. Like these, like I stream for. And I guess maybe it's more video game than comic stuff now, but it's just, I don't know, it's weird. Like, short stuff.
I don't know if I'm going on like a walk or doing any sort of exercise, right?
Mm-hmm.
The best thing you can do is have like a comics podcast to listen to. For me, anyway. I'm just like, I don't have to like watch anything. I can listen. I don't need to like be particularly invested, but for the fact that, you know, if it's a decent interviewer and the person being interviewed, I'm interested in their work, I'm just like that's a way to get me to exercise.
Nice. Yeah, I used to have my I used to try and like when I used to go to the gym because I had like an iPad, like an old iPad. When I was like first started bounce there, hey, I talked about bouncing, put it on your mark on your bingo cards. But like when I first started doing that, I was going to the gym like every day. I lost like I also found out I was like I was sick and went to the doctor and I was almost 400 pounds and that embarrassed the shit out of me. And so I started going. My buddy was going to the gym a lot, doing MMA, like training, getting ready to fight. And so I started going to the gym with him. Anyways, like I got real into it. And I used to have my iPad with me because every other day I would do cardio. And so like if it was like a lazy day, I would do like the e-bike and I would do like, 15 miles on the bike. But I'd watch like Wolverine and the X-Men. I remember like I watched like Wolverine and the X-Men, like just biking, sweating at the gym. But it like you would like, it is weird. You get like distracted, or if you watch it on the elliptical, like your pace will slow down. It's different than if it's just audio, and I don't know if it's because if you're like staring at that dash and you can like really see like, hey, you're fucking being slow, or if it's just like, you just kind of zone out. But yeah, it's different. Like music and audio is way different than like putting a video on and watching it while you're doing that stuff.
Yeah, I feel like music sets the ambiance for like doing any exercise, but it's not good at like keeping me going once I'm already going.
Yeah, that's when you gotta. You should also, when you guys are, not only is assuming David's talking about my podcast selfishly, but not only is Blake's Buzz good,
mostly you and Word Balloon. That's like
nice.
You and John Suntress. That's where I'm at these days.
I love Word Balloon. Even though I have a funny story about that. But anyway, but he it's funny. But oh fuck, it's the joke. I was trying to do a joke. Hold on. Rewind. Not only is Blake's Buzz good at the gym, but you should also throw me on when you're love making. Nothing will just enhance your special night than hearing me get hyped for comics. I'm just telling you. And you know what? These soft and sultry tones aren't gonna fuck themselves, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so just throw me on. Throw me a bone when you're throwing them a bone, whatever.
Yeah, I just like, look, radio man, do it. I could see you just being like a love song dedication style, like very chill.
What's that service that like some semi-famous and famous people, they like pay money and they'll like
Cameo.
Yeah, Cameo. Like I can start doing there's I watched this show called Kill Tony, this comedy podcast on YouTube, and it's like they do it, it's a podcast, they do it live and like millions of people watch it. It's crazy. But the guy who closes the show every week, I guess makes just crazy money yelling at people on Cameo, and he got big doing comedy on the show, and then like they book these big gigs and stuff but yeah, he just makes all this money on Cameo. But yeah, I don't know if you like, I'll do fucking Kickstarter trailers. If you haven't found this out in the last year, folks, I'll do anything for money. I will fucking.
You just do it for free and for fun.
That is true. But we don't talk about, like earlier when you were like, don't say that, Blake. I was like, don't say that, David. That's
to be fair, though, like, you don't do it for free like that. For anyone.
Yeah,
I just was very thankful when you did it for us without us even asking you, like, let's go. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, oh shit. Yeah, that's the new show. We're about to launch a new channel, the Blake After Dark. It's gonna be great. It probably won't be great, but we'll see. We're gonna feet. I'm gonna take feet pics.
Depends how high you are.
Yeah, most things do, David. I quit drinking, so the most things do depend on it. Like how angry is Blake going to get at this? How can we approach Blake at this specific? No, I'm not that bad. But I don't do anything anymore, man. I don't drink. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do anything. And then for a while I wasn't smoking because I would take like one hit and have fun for about 20 minutes and then fall asleep. And I can't do that and do a show, or I can't do that and like work, but then, the way drugs work, you do more of them and you practice at drugs and then get better.
Yeah, better.
But now it's, you can, I'm not as useless. But yeah, I don't really miss drinking. It was crazy because I haven't drank like at all this year. And it didn't like click with me until I was like, oh man, I'm almost at like 6 months. And I didn't do anything bad and I didn't mess up. And I gave my car back to the bank. Like it's not like I ran off the road and like, oh, I fucked up. I gotta, I'm just like, I kind of got bored and tired of it and then didn't drink for a while. And it was kind of nice. Oh, and I've been like losing weight too, which is weird. It could be the stress eating me from the inside out. I don't know, because comics are amazing, but
Well, it's not working for me, so
that's what someone said. That they were like, "Dude, fuck you!" Like when I get stressed, I eat because that's what what happens.
I'll have whatever intestinal parasite she's having.
Yeah, because I won't. Which is great too, because I'm diabetic, so that's like super healthy. But like, yeah, some days like I'll be like busy, and then I'll be like, I don't have time for breakfast, and then it'll be like 3:00, and I'll be like, oh no, I missed lunch, and then it's like 9, and I'm like, I should probably eat something, and then I'm just like slamming G Fuel all day, just like, God, I want to live forever.
I'm immortal.
I grab the mic and it's like, it's like it goes black again.
Your own petard. Definition of dramatic irony.
I haven't heard that. What is that movie? What is that movie when they say it wrong and everybody's shit? Or was it, maybe it was a skit? I don't know.
Community?
Yes, that probably was
Community. Yeah, I think they did.
I heard is that real? Is that real's coming back? Did I hear that? Because I thought what's his name was like.
They want to do the movie to like make the 6 seasons in a movie thing.
Okay. Because yeah, even Gambino is even like into it, which was weird because
like they'll have a weird Chevy Chase cameo.
I know. I was like, dude, is he like? Because he's dead, or wait, no, because they brought him back. Like he was dead, and then he came back.
The character was dead. They brought. We don't want to spread internet rumors that Chevy Chase himself is dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought him back as like a hologram.
Yeah.
That show is so stupid, but it just works.
Oh my god, it's so ridiculous. I remember that I still want an arsenal of Nerf guns just because of that show. Like, or no, not Nerf. Like that was a different show. That was
no, it was paintball.
They played paintball. It was there was another show that I used to watch that all the roommates had Nerf guns. Anyways, but no, Community
was New Girl. Was it New Girl?
No, it wasn't. It was like New. It had Coach from New Girl in it, and he was in it. Oh my god.
You mean one of the Wayans?
Yeah, the one Wayans brother.
Yeah.
I have an IMDb Pro account now that I never use, so I can get all the hot media details for articles, which I never get. But yeah, what is it? Is it Marlon? Is it Damon? It's Damon. Maybe. Yeah, it's Damon. Not My Wife and the Kids. Oh, Last Boy Scout. I forgot about Last Boy Scout. What a movie. What a movie. Is this this isn't that's the wrong way in. That's not the right way in. I mean, it's gotta be. Oh, it's Damon Wayans Jr. Sorry. Really? Really? Happy Together. Happy Together
No,
was a pretty wait. Yes. Yes. Happy Together is
no
a
idea what that
no,
is.
that may not be what I'm thinking it is. Nope. Yeah, that's not right either. I may have just made up this show. Wow. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna give up on this, but I swear to God, it's a real show. I swear to God, I must not have had a Wayans in
Should
it.
show some of the art I spent time sending you.
Oh yeah, we could do that. Let's do that. I didn't know if I was
You
allowed to
probably
show.
show art. You can like all the art that I sent you from those like Mad Cave links are good to show.
Okay,
Uh,
let's get this pulled up. David, you guys want to look at my email? I showed my credit card information on a live stream one time. That was fun. It was only the last four.
what did
You
you
guys-
do about it?
You guys want to see it? You guys want to see that 2000? That's a healthy number. That's after. Wait, this is the wrong. It's the wrong inbox. Hold on, I'm sharing the wrong. Hold on. Let's get the right. That was just my personal email. Hopefully, I don't even know. Hopefully, there wasn't anything in there. Just the fact that I have 2,000 unread emails, which is embarrassing. Why is it not there? Stupid. All right. Let's see. Oh, that's not good. I hate StreamYard. It's like it's opening different windows, and then I have to like tell it to do that.
Clearly very prepared for
I was so prepared. Cause there weren't preview pages in the press release. I didn't know if we could show them.
Oh yeah, you can show them.
All right. So this is Kevla.
I mean Cavella. I pronounce it Cavella. I don't know. I actually don't know the answer.
Oh,
That's the only way I've heard it pronounced. If that helps, by people who've worked with Sammy before. So.
And like just from the first, like as you can just see from the first page, you're in for a intense cinematic experience. I love that double panel at the bottom. That's so cool. A lot of these layouts are so damn good. This art is so great.
So this scene, Blake, I almost it almost ended up being like several pages in the middle of the book that I kind of condensed a little bit. But the sort of the three brothers here, it's the story sort of almost verbatim of my great grandfather and his two brothers. So it's all kind of injected with, people, either from, my family history or from, who I know. And this in particular was like really fascinating to me because I've got all these historical artifacts from like different areas of the world. My great grandfather and his two brothers fled what's now Belarus, and ended up in Wales. They were headed for England, and ended up in Wales because they got confused. They ended up staying in Wales for a while, and then my great grandfather went to the States, decided he didn't like the weather, and so came to Australia. And there's sort of family legends about one of the brothers who went back to Eastern Europe to try and find the rest of the family, and had to kill someone to get out. And I'm just like, this is all just like really fascinating stuff. And I actually have the gravestone that's in that image.
Mhm.
Like, I actually have a picture of my great great uncle's gravestone, but it doesn't just show his name. It shows all 6 of his kids who died before the age of 2. Like, it's
Oh.
and like he left behind his wife, who survived him by like a significant amount of time. And he died from some like botched operation. It's just kind of wild. There's like these, like each individual one of these, like of these relatives has their own just like wild and unique life story.
That's
So
so
I was like,
cuz
how do I put all of these in here? Because it's so interesting.
and you did that too cuz yeah, in the bottom left is that moment where the he's telling him like none of his kids lived past the age of 2, and like that's just that was like very these little like intense moments, like because there's going to be a lot of intense moments for because you start the book with a gun, and then like that there's the threat of Nazis on the horizon, right? And then there's these mafioso guys. There's danger, guns, not it's going to be intense, but these little these the emotional intensity that you bring into these narratives too is like it. I don't know. That always impressed me. It impresses me when you do that in Nottingham too, because in Nottingham, and I think we're going to see barbarism here. We just didn't get it in the premiere, but like Nottingham is fucking barbaric. It's fucking mean and it's nasty and it's gritty but you still like you make it charming. You throw some heart in there. You make characters people care about. I don't know. It's very very smart how you guys are able to do that, and it's little these little moments that you sprinkle in like this where you don't realize it at first, but you're like, oh, like I care about this story so much more now.
This was particularly difficult to write for that very reason. I think, especially that first issue, I really struggled with getting it all out, especially because, like we're doing that sort of framing device where these 2 men are having this conversation and we're like catching you up to the story, um, but sort of framing it around the tension between these 2 men because that's what the story is about. Ultimately, you take away all of the trappings. It's about these 2 very different men who have to come together for a common goal, and they butt heads a lot. Um, and I can't wait for people to read this and read the rest of it because I just had such a blast making it. And Sammy, like, the only notes I gave him were like pretty much things about, hey, like this, like, when there's a scene in a synagogue, I'm like, this small details need to be like in there. But like, he's just so good. Like, he's somebody that I'm like, where is the big 2 work? Like, he should be doing it. If you go back to the previous page, right? And you scroll down to that bottom right panel. Okay. Zoom into that. Why has this man not written James Bond? Like, drawn James Bond? Like, what? Like, just look at it.
Yeah, his
If
line
you
works
took that in
amazing.
isolation, you're like, okay, this man is James Bond. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he draws fucking great characters.
Mr. Gold. I would not fuck with Mr. Gold, by
Like,
the way.
I
He's a very
just
cool
love
dude.
a character who can inhale the scenery. This is like, you just find the character who inhales the scenery and set them against the ones who don't, and it's just so much fun. It's like Marion and the Sheriff are kind of like another example where Marion is literally just like, she has so much charisma, and then the Sheriff has about as much charisma as an ironing board. Do you know what I mean?
There's a scene where Marion is next to Little John, right? And visually he dwarfs her. He's gigantic. He's abhumanly large. He's like a monster. But her commanding presence and the way Shane draws her and like her body language, like how she kind of like
She
sits back at an
it's giving
angle.
it's giving sitting like a bisexual. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's that scene of like in The Mandalorian where Bo-Katan is just like kind of like lounging on her chair in
yeah.
season 3, and everyone went nuts over it. Marion is like that 24/7.
Yeah, but
But in
yeah,
terms
like
of it getting bloody, I'll share with you something that wasn't in the press kit because I'm feeling a little naughty. But
okay.
can I? How do I do this?
You go
Oh,
to present, and then it
yeah,
should.
just selecting the correct screen.
Oh, yeah. Don't throw your personal email up inbox up for
Yeah,
a minute.
on my credit card.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Like we're going
Whoa.
bloody with this, and we're not shying away from it. I think, today's, world events aside, I really wanted to have like I feel like a lot of Jews in media are portrayed a specific way, um, in the same way that like there's tropes about Asian men being like not effectual, or it's
Mhm.
it's like there's a similar trope for I think for Jewish men, and I kind of wanted to deconstruct that, and so like Howard is almost that archetype, and he's set against Ephraim, who's like the opposite of that. He's like big, commanding, and like just like steals all the air from any room that he's in.
Mhm.
And it was really about deconstructing tropes for me. And so yeah, this guy is like a physically imposing presence. Um, and like, what more could you want out of a mob enforcer who's like kind of unsure of who he is, but still seems to sort of steal all the air from any room. So
And who right here appears to be getting the shit kicked out of him by a very Gold is a big dude. These
yeah,
hands are as big as his head. Like, well, I'm very interested to see what monstrosity he's kicking the shit out of him right now. That's oh man, this is gonna be
spoilers.
what's this what's the time frame like on this book? Like, where you got 6 planned? Like, what?
So it's 5.
Okay,
I would love to do more, but I don't want to do more necessarily with these characters. I'm
okay,
trying to anthologize this, so that if we do another volume, and that obviously depends on like if Mad Cave want to do another volume, I think they're pretty keen. I just like think they want numbers first,
Hmm.
which is always the way.
Yeah,
Um, and I think I want to, different place and time, different characters, but like all like the idea would be each volume would focus on a sort of a new thing. I got ideas for days, um,
nice.
ideas for several years, in fact. Like,
That's cool.
I'd really love to do more, and it's just like buy the book, buy the damn book, so we can do more.
I'm interested to see, so much of what I've seen and heard and learned right about like the world, that part of World War II and stuff was like, not from like the people it affected, right? The people that were in the camps, in the cities around the camps, like in those areas, like overseas. And I never really like, you don't really get that side, like that whole viewpoint of like these Jews in America. And this guy is like, this is going to be a problem. Like, we should do something. And then it's also like, these like 8 dudes in an attic, what are they going to do against an army too? But it's just like, these are like Jewish men, but powerful Jewish men with sway and guns in their own army in a sense, right? Just not comparable to a World War army. but that really fascinated me of like seeing that happen. Think, like, do we do something? Can we do something? The dialogues that happen there, like between Gold and the boss, when he's like, don't ever pull that shit again moment. Like, dude, there's so much, there are infinite, like little tiny moments that are so intriguing that have nothing to do with a gun, nothing to do with a bloody fist, nothing to do with like typical mafioso shit, right? Just like cultural and historical implications of the time and location are super fascinating, and you're handling it in a really fucking cool way. It's awesome.
And also, just I'm throwing like as much Yiddish in to like get
Yeah,
this
that was cool.
like yeah, and I'm like, we had a sort of like we bandied about a little bit about like, do we translate these words like
Oh yeah.
and the answer I came up with was no. Like, if people want to know, they can either figure it out from context, which is fine, and which is generally what like one would do when somebody in a room switches into a different language. Like, you either figure it out from context, or you look it up, or you don't understand. But like, that's part of the experience, right? And part of a new cultural experience.
Mhm. Yeah. I
So I just was like, let's throw some Yiddish in there. It's not a whole lot, right? But it's enough that's like it's more than just the words you would absorb from pop culture. Um, and I don't know, I really enjoyed that part of it, especially since like, only half of my family even comes from a Eastern European background. So um, we didn't have like I didn't grow up with a lot of Yiddish being spoken at home. So
mm,
it's all just like it was a really interesting cultural learning experience for me as well as I was going about writing this book. It's very cool.
nice.
Um, so I had such a blast.
Were there like some, so like I remember, like being in Catholic school, being younger, right? And like learning about some of the saints, and like some of the fucking saints were like, I mean, some of them were like borderline like revolutionaries and terrorists, right? But they were painted differently, right? But they were very much like, oh, this dude told the government to like fuck off and like led a coup. And it was like, what? And it's like, these are saints. It wasn't all like Saint George fighting a dragon, right? It was like there was some political shit going on. When
Oh
you were
yeah.
doing research, like did you come across like some real historical figures where you're like,
Oh yeah, they're in the
why aren't
book.
movies made about these people? Like,
There are figures in the book that
nice.
I like that are real historical figures that I
That's awesome.
sort of teased out of my research. Not in the first issue, but there are a couple in the second issue, a couple in the fourth issue, and then in the fifth we mention somebody very big, and it's like, oh, but who I would love to do a book about, but I think probably a few too many people have done it, and I don't know that it would work. But
Mm.
super interesting guy.
Yeah. This whole world. I mean, and even I guess it would. I don't know how that would work though. Like to start in history and then really take it over to like the fiction side, because I mean you could stay like, I mean, you could do so much with these characters and just the stories you could like make up with them.
Look, my initial thought for a sequel, which I decided not to go with, but like my initial thought for a sequel was, as I was doing the research, I found out that the United States Office of Naval Intelligence mobilized a whole bunch of organized crime syndicates to detect German U-boats attempting to enter American waters. Like because they had all of the access to the docks, like, and it's just so like the import export business. They were sort of the underground for that. So anybody trying
yeah.
to get smuggled into the US by water, or anybody or like German U-boats, like trying to detect them. Like, it's wild to me that like somebody had the idea, some human being had the idea. We can't detect these submarines. Why don't we go to these mobsters and get them to help us detect submarines? It's just wild.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts. Well, that kind of too. It's like how when we used to hear about like when like people that like the computer people, like when you could like get into the systems or like steal money or whatever, like you would. I always heard stories of like they would get like arrested and then it would be like you go to jail or you go to work for the CIA. Yeah, like I've always heard those stories. I don't have any proof that like happens, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's heard those stories. And it's interesting how these things, these skills that some people have, right? And maybe they're illegal skills. Maybe they're skills that like are scary that some, like a very particular Liam Neeson type set of skills, right? That, like people want to like turn their nose up or look down at till it can fucking help you, and then, right. Like everybody's going to hate guns, but if like you got a kid and someone steals it, like give Liam Neeson all the guns and send him to get your kid it back, and I feel like it's the same thing. Like, oh my God, the mob is crazy. Wait, they like know docks, they know water. They've been smuggling shit through these channels.
So you can look it up. It's called Operation Underworld. You can look it up, and it was a real thing that happened.
That's awesome. My dad used to work for a lot of mob guys. It was the Italian side, not the, but they and supposedly my mom's dad died shortly after my mom was born, so my mom didn't really know him, but supposedly he was in the mob. And like because I remember being a kid and like people would bring it up and no one would ever be like, that's not true. Everybody would always just be like, oh, Chuck. And it was like wait, like was he like really in the mob? So like I don't know, I've made the joke sometimes that I was like this close to like not being a podcaster and could have been like a strong, I don't know. I probably would have sucked at that. I'm not I'm not going out breaking somebody's legs being like, don't fuck with my boss. Like it's your boy. Like, I'd be like,
how did your boss feel about that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll probably have a meeting about that tomorrow. I'm like, I saw your stream. No, but no, yeah.
If he's watching your stream, you're
you're
in trouble.
I'm in trouble anyway. That fucking he put his name on it. It's not even my show anymore. I don't own this thing. But yeah, I love the history of it. But yeah, it's so cool. It's much like when in my undergrad, I got really into like the IRA, and I did a lot of like research on the IRA and like the hunger strikes and like a lot of the writing
also
and stuff.
Incredibly fascinating. I
Dude.
think, that deserves a few more comics from fantastic Irish creators around.
Yeah, like a lot of these guys' stories are just inspiring, and you think you have fucking problems, and then it's like
yeah,
and like so many of these people like gave up their lives in one way, either died in a bomb blast or in a beating or or got shot or or run over by an armored vehicle. Like it was either you died or like the prison or the ramifications of trying to, even if you were on the right side of it, of like living that life, and like like most revolutionaries don't grow old, for one, but anyways, I'm a passionate person, man. I've never seen anything where I was like I'm gonna change everything about me and die for it. Yeah.
Life for this. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love my dogs are like the closest thing. Like I guess I have like my sister. I would probably take a bullet for my sister. Maybe it depends on the day, but no, I don't know. Like also maybe I'm a piece of shit. Like I don't know. Like who knows? Like someone could like point a gun at me. I could shit myself and cry. I have no idea what would happen like in that circumstance. But anyways,
Look,
like
it's interesting how the brain reacts when you're in a situation like that. So you never know.
but it's also too it's interesting how you mentioned that is how the brain reacts. But some people are so like cold and calculated and meticulous and can like take apart that scene and then take apart an adversary, right? And you do that. You and your creators, the incredible artists you've worked with, certainly help, like in Nottingham and in the action scenes in Kosher Mafia. But like, you do that too. Like you're able to like you zoom in on these scenes and then like everything's just very like fluid and it seems to like slow down and you like focus with Gold and you like you feel it's almost like you like feel that gun in your hand kind of it's like you're with him and it's so weird how you guys can get and it's because you're not a cold-blooded killer, David. I know you. And I'm pretty sure Sammy's not either, right? No,
I am pretty much a pacifist. Like
you write cold-blooded people really well and they're like multifaceted cold-blooded people. Speaking of just the nicest gang of comic book characters around. We got
like when I saw this page come in, I was like, dude, how did you level up again?
Dude. It's like it's like so dark and colorful. Like it's crazy. It's so
I think
cool.
that the colorful comes from Luca. I think
Luca, definitely. Yeah.
Color this, it would be a little different.
Oh yeah.
But no, I love like from this first page. This last volume has been in my head since before I finished the first one. Somehow my brain like got to like writing starting to write issue 4 in 2019 or early 2020, just before the pandemic. And I was like, like doing the historical research to make sure everything lined up for that volume. As I was closing it off, it was like, oh, here's like the next volume and the volume after that, and this is how the story ends. And getting to actually do that, just so cool. And with this volume, we've got the Siege of Nottingham, which takes place in 1194, real historical event. King Richard returns home and basically brings his army to besiege Nottingham to try and get it as a foothold to then go and crush the rest of Prince John's supporters. And it was just the perfect place to bring all of our characters back together and just force them into close quarters. And like doing that makes it both sort of epic in scale in that you've got this huge siege going on, but everyone's sort of like cramped in together and constantly butting heads. And it was just so delightful to be able to do that. And I'm just having a really good time making comics, dude.
It's cool. Also, that would be like the best con banner, by the way. Like, if you started doing more cons, like
yeah,
to get that.
Shane. That was all Shane. I didn't touch that one.
No, just getting that like that smiley face behind you at like a table, like just to get a big pop up banner, like boom.
Yeah,
have David
maybe I'll get him to draw one just for us.
Like I think it'd be like cool on t-shirts and stuff. I don't know. I love it. It's creepy and weird and like punk rock and fuck the man. And I love it. So this book is so gorgeous. And I love, the everything is very claustrophobic. Like you said, like everybody's like locked in tight spaces. The gates are closed. The underground tunnels are closed. We're bringing everybody behind the walls, like waiting for this army to show up. Right. And then when it, like, as we saw in like 11, when Robin shows up. I think was it 11 or 12, but like Robin shows up and
start of 12.
okay,
Robin
yeah.
shows up.
So then Robin shows up and does some shit that scares the people. Yeah, man, there's just like every
That's that panel right there.
there's another one. This is one of them, but there's another one too. It's during the daytime. It's before they get him and bring him to Marion. Or wait, is that it? This is it. No. Wait, that's gone. That's why
I mean, we can scroll through the actual issue if you want.
Let's see. Hold on, let me.
I don't mind. I mean, I probably have them here actually.
I think that's right. I think I'm on here somewhere. Hold on. We go through all David's comics actually, right? Just
you can see things that you should not be able to see.
All right, hold on. 9M, Volume 3. Let's see. All right. So, can I zoom out? No, I can't zoom out. All right. God, this is such a beautiful book. Also, Robin looks nasty.
Yeah, I feel like he's gotten like an even nastier look to him.
I mean, it warrants it. Like right here,
he is actually just a piece of shit, and that doesn't really change.
But this too, though, like you can see it here. There's guilt and regret. Like this is the shit that freaks me out about you guys. And Shane, like, and Sammy does it too in the new book in Kosher Mafia. But it's these moments where like it's just like there's like, I don't want to say this like offensively, but it's like it's men being men. Like these are soldiers, these are armies like getting ready to fucking like kick a door down and invade a castle, right? And then and
that does something to you, right? It has a psychological effect. And we're not talking about people who are psychopaths, right?
Yeah.
They're like people who have been thrust into situations basically in a thick coat of blood and gore, and either by societal expectation or by pure chance, and it kind of fucks you up.
Yeah.
And you can see that all of these people, especially in Nottingham, react in different ways. And yeah, I'm very excited to see how people react going forward to this.
I love every time Marion is just in a panel. I love it. She's
doing the most.
These eyes, dude. That shit freaked me out. Like this is amazing. Anyways, yeah, there's Little John. Like, such a cool. I can't believe it's ending. It's so crazy. Anyways, that's about 10 pages. I don't want to spoil too much. Was it in here? This one's already out. Where's the damn this cover too, by the way. Goddamn.
This fucking cover.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah. That was the first piece of art from volume 3, and I was like, we're back. We're back, baby.
Yeah. What a way. And then yeah, like your first page, like these, and I heard like horses, like most artists like hate drawing horses.
I'm sure it's the same for Shane, but I don't think he'll ever let on about that.
He's really good at it though. Like God, like, but yeah, just the details and stuff, like in these guys' faces. Everybody's just so like, everybody's so horrendous. Like it's just like the teeth and the heavy dark inks and the heavy, like the sharp angles, like the hatch marks. Oh, I love it. I love this book, man. I want to miss it. I'm glad. I don't whatever happens later. I'm glad. All right, so here's the raid. There's like some cool fight. Like here's where some awesome fighting. Limbs get cut off. This dude's head's gone. Oh my god, this is so good. Maybe this is the bit. I'm on. Maybe that is the page. I'm losing it. I just don't.
Maybe the next ones.
Oh, that was. I do. Rose coming out was pretty awesome. You know that when I almost wrote a story about her for the Mad Cave
Oh, she's so much fun.
short story contest. This is one of those moments too where Marion is just like she's not bigger than him, but is like it just I don't know like. And then this is smart too to follow. Like now she is like visually big, but you know like I don't know. There's a lot of smart shit going on that you guys do. Point of view. How is she fun to write? Do you just like nerd out and go like and also like in your like day-to-day existence, if you're ever like troubled, are you like, what would Marion do here? And it would probably be like, oh, I can't slit this person's throat, but what else might she do?
Yeah, I mean, she's like mostly about getting other people to do the dirty work. Sometimes she'll do it if she has
that's
to.
True.
But and now she's got a little pet little John. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's
I might have one of those in my back pocket.
Mm.
Watch Blake's Buzz or else. And there's like I in high school, one of my best friends was a drug dealer, and he used to like get me messed up for free, and he'd be like, hey man, like come with me to get this stuff and we can party. And I'd be like, okay. And then like after like a while, I realized that like I was just this big dude. He was taking on drug deal. Like I had realized like I was technically the security.
You were the muscle.
And no one ever told me I was the muscle dude. And I'm like salivating, right? Like when the dudes come out and I'm like, yeah, we're partying, you know? And it was like, oh, like I'm also like, yeah, like I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, Nick. I was like, I don't know. Yeah, I was Little John and Nick was Marion. We were idiot high school kids. Anyway, growing up with like there's so many. The fun part of private school was like a lot of the kids had money and like or their families had money, right? And so you know it was funny. Like some of these kids just be like, "Mom, Dad, like give me money. The guys are coming over for the weekend. It's like a couple $100. Like who does that? Who just hands it? Go buy a video game, pizza, and like what?" We weren't buying video games and pizza, David. Anyway,
Listen, I wasn't even buying video games. I was only allowed to rent the video games.
Oh yeah.
I was a little nerd.
I mean, I was too. My first job was a Blockbuster. I used to, oh my God, and I would spend so much money. My buddy would get mad at me. Because I like owed him money a couple times and he'd be like, why are you buying all these Blu-rays or these DVD? The Blu-rays weren't out yet. He's like, why are you buying these DVDs from work? You owe me money. And I was like, they're like $2. Leave me alone. Like, like, and then like, it was a fun job. But yeah, I've always been kind of a video game nerd. I miss it now. I'm trying to get back into it. I'm trying to get back into Destiny with the final expansion and stuff coming out. And because of Geek Network, we've been getting a lot of like indie game codes, people asking us to review stuff. And so like I got a capture card. So like I could start, I don't know. I have the equipment to like go hard on game streaming. Like I could like pop up a green screen behind me, make like a little window and play Helldivers for hours. And like,
dude, we've got to play some Helldivers sometime. I'm down.
Shit. I haven't played it, so there's been like 2 updates I think since the last time I played.
Me too.
It's been a minute.
It's been a few weeks, and it's like it's good. It's a good game to play with people both because it's kind of ridiculous,
Yeah.
and also because you can like it's got cross-platform play, so it
Yeah.
just makes
Everybody
things
can play
easier.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was playing with some of the Geek Network guys that used to be at Geek Network that are no longer at Geek Network, but we still play like Helldivers together sometimes. But yeah, I've been busy. And then like also like some days is like when you stare at a screen all day, you don't like get done with work and be like, let's play video games for hours.
You and I are very different creatures.
I just
I
it's like
just
my
want
eyes
to
need a
like
break.
melt my brain and like press some buttons, you know,
Yeah, I
click
just
some heads, maybe.
yeah. Yeah, I like I said, it's coming back, but it's just like I said, I've been trying to play Destiny, and then last night I played, and I've got this fucking 7-page script I need to write. That I'm
You want my advice? Just do it. Get it out, even if it's bad, because you can always redraft it.
oh yeah, I just need to get it. I got like yeah, I have the outline. I know like I have the beginning and the end, and now I have to like do I have to lay it out. I have to draw my shitty layouts that have like
You
shapes and
don't.
triangles in them. That's
You
how I
don't.
like to do it. It helps me. Especially that's how I did it when when I only got 2 pages for that Peter Pan anthology, like or the Neverland Cthulhu anthology. Like, I
See,
only
like,
had 2 pages, so I was like stressing about it, and so I kept like
my preferred way of doing this, right, is like I can visualize it pretty well in my head,
yeah
but I just have rules also for like numbers of panels on pages, numbers of words in panels, and I try to go by that. And if something doesn't work, I always have a thing to the artist being like, "Hey, if this doesn't work, just like you have freedom to submit whatever
yeah
layout you think is best, you know."
yeah
And yeah, it does help to visualize sometimes when you draw it out, but also like deadlines are real, and sometimes you just don't have time.
yeah I got you. Yeah, that's how my first one was. I got kind of intense on my 2 pages, like I was kind of detailed, but at the end of it, I was like, also, if you think you can make it look cooler, do whatever you want to do. I like made a point. But what my script, it doesn't have, there's not a lot of dialogue. It's a spaceship heist. People are running through a spaceship. It's a floating organ farm in space, and they're trying to steal from it.
I'm on board with whatever this concept is. It sounds cool.
So yeah, it's just they're like running through looking for an organ and trying to get out, and they're having like a Star Wars hallway shootout with some droids, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That
Anyway,
sounds fun.
most of it's just going to be like they're in this room and it looks like this, and make that look cool, and then they're like, "Did you find it yet?" Like that's like. And then there's like some dialogue at the end, but yeah, so it's not.
And then the bit is like they're not farming like biological organs; they're farming the musical instrument organs that are like
Yeah,
grown biologically. That's the bit.
yeah, and they're very tiny. It's like the world's smallest violin, but the world's smallest organ. Yeah, no, it's like everything's like it's like a 3D basis. Like what I have in the script is it's like, or in the like story notes. I don't have a script yet, but it's like a 3D printer, but with like trellises on. But everything's like flesh. It's like everything looks like flesh and alive and weird. And there's like these like trellises like in vines, and these like buds, these like organic buds are growing, and like in the buds are these different like, and there's like all sorts of species. So like when they're looking for it, like they're like getting shot at, and he's like, "Did you find it yet?" And she's like, "I don't even know what species this is." And so it's just like they're trying to find this specific thing, and then at the end you find out what it is, and then I don't know, it seems really cool in my head, which might be dangerous, but anyways, but yeah,
You know
but
what? Like
I just
that's what it's all about. If it seems cool in your head and you can communicate the like what's cool about it to the artist,
then it'll
they'll do
probably be
the
okay.
rest.
Yeah,
Like that's what scripting is about. It's like identifying what is like going to elicit an emotion in any individual panel and saying, all right, this is the emotionality of it. The rest of it is neither here nor there. It's just like, all right, the artist can figure out, but like if you can communicate like the emotion of it, the rest will come.
Nice. Is that ever hard? I know we've almost talked for 2 hours,
Sometimes,
but
sometimes.
when, especially in some of this stuff where like culturally, when you're like, putting in, some of your own family and culture and all this research you're doing and stuff too, like, do you ever, do you ever want to put too much in and but then you have to remind yourself like, oh, let's step back, or in these like very physical scenes, like, are you just like, this kind of needs to happen and make it look cool, or sometimes are you like, and then there's this punch and then he like kicks him in the face, are you a choreographer, David?
I try to so here's the thing. Most of the artists I've worked with love like full script fight scenes. They just like enjoy being told what to do with that, because there's a lot of moving parts to any given fight scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like fights are just like dances with like blood. So it's just about like finding like, first of all, finding the thematic and emotional hook and the narrative hook of any given fight scene, and then mobilizing that in your panel descriptions.
Okay. Nice. You say smart stuff sometimes, David. And it's just like it's like, wow, like I want to like stop and think about it, but then I'm like, no, you're live and you have to keep talking. It's wildly distracting, but no, it's that's why you write good fucking books. Because you can talk about writing like that. I think that's a pretty. I feel like most, like, you'd have to be a pretty good snake oil salesman, right, to be able to talk writing and be a dog shit writer. I feel like, like if you can talk about writing and tell a good story about writing, even if it's a lie, you are in a sense a good writer. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just like I just enjoy the craft of it. I'm like, if you don't enjoy the craft of it, what are you doing here? Like,
Yeah.
like why are you here? And I feel like, most of the time, if someone's managed to successfully create a comic book, they love it enough that the potential for like being good at the job is there.
Yeah.
So
So
it's just
the
about,
love of it can make you a
yeah.
better writer too. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like the knowledge that you're good at it. I think that's just sort of mostly an impediment. But loving all aspects of it, like all of the inside baseball nonsense, is kind of what makes the job great. And I'll keep doing it until nobody lets me anymore.
Hell yeah. All right, so Kosher Mafia, that book that I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys heard us
Kosher
talking about it.
Mafia is
August 7th.
in
Wow.
previews in the next week or so. First issue drops the 7th of August. Yeah.
I was about to say, yeah, I was gonna give the pre-order code, and I was like, oh, it's not in previews yet. So, but
Not in previews yet.
it'll be in the next previews. But yeah, folks, this is a public service announcement from your boy Blake. This comic book is so hot, my camera overheated during the stream tonight. This comic is so fucking good. If you've
the
been
actual
reading,
cover, I feel like we didn't do that.
did we? I don't. Hold on. We can. Let's see. I got it pulled up. Ding ding ding. All right. So this is your cover A, folks. So it looks like you can you pre-order it through the Mad Cave website?
And pre-order it
No,
from
you can,
Mad
yeah.
Cave right now.
So yeah, you can go pre-order it from Mad Cave. Whether you do that or from your local comic shop, like I said, you gotta. It's such a good book. If this is how great the first is, I can't wait to see where they go later. It's gonna be phenomenal. And then let's see. Then there's a cover B.
Yeah, it's a cover B by Sean Martinborough, who is not just a phenomenal and legendary artist, but also a really lovely human being. So I'm like, and I've only interacted with since the announcement, and it's been like wildly supportive. I'm like, this is so lovely. Like, it's nice as somebody who kind of still has that like, oh, I'm a newer creator mindset, that when you get treated as a peer by people who have been doing this for like, and doing it very skillfully and successfully for a very long time. When you get treated as a peer by those people, it certainly helps.
Totally. Yeah. And it's, and you see, seems everybody loves working with you. You know, when we got the whole Nottingham team on here, that was so fun. And all you guys, like the jokes and the laughing, you could just tell like all you guys were having a good time together. Luca got up at like 4 o'clock in the morning just to do it, you know, like.
Did I tell you one year at New York, we video chatted him when me and Shane and Brian and Chris Fernandez of Mad Cave we were all at dinner. We were just leaving dinner and we decided to video chat Luca. It was like 3 a.m. and we'd all been like drinking a little bit and having a good time. And it was just kind of a little crazy, but really fun.
Oh, that's no.
Luca going, "What's going on?"
I can't. So you like just randomly called him and he answered at 3 o'clock in the morning. Wow.
Yeah.
That's that Nottingham crew bond.
I love working with Luca. I hope
he cracks me up. I love him. So he's so cool.
Just so enthusiastic, and it really like drives the energy. So like I'll be just working on stuff and I'll just randomly get like a page colored from him, or he'll have just read a script. He'll be like, "Screw you, man, screw you." And it's not about the amount of crowd scenes or the amount of horses riding bicycles, right? It's it's just about the like twists and turns of it all. He's like,
nice.
"What are you doing to my guy this time?" And I'm like, "That's the way the cookie crumbles in Nottingham, my friend."
That's funny. That's cool. Yeah, it's if you're a fan of Nottingham, you're going to be eating well. And then you got Monomyth. The trade is out there.
Yeah, the trade has been out since February. That was a blast to do. I just keep staring at that Chris Sheehan variant of issue 1. I'm just like, oh, I really need to get that posterized.
That's a cool cover. Chris is such a massive talent. He's awesome. Yeah. But yeah, so real quick, David, I know you're starting your day and it's a work day. You probably got shit to do, but where's like the best place these days? I think you're still on Twitter and everything, but like best place to keep track of, follow you?
Yeah, still on X at David T. Hazan. I'm just at David Hazan on Blue Sky, but I'm still like trying to push myself to take that step and actually commit to Blue Sky a little more. Instagram is David T. Hazan. Website is davidhazan.com. Don't ask me why I haven't just universally branded myself. I don't know, and it's too late to change now.
You could do it. I changed. I did mine perfectly. I was like, yeah, Blake's Buzz everywhere. Then I was like, now I'm loving comic books and Blake's Buzz is something else. Blake's Buzz isn't mine anymore, so it's not. It is something else.
It's still yours. You know what I mean.
I'm just the host.
Love more, hate less, read comics, okay?
By the way, comic books. Joe Corallo. God damn it, I never say his name right. We like practiced when he was on the show in the green room the other day. I was like, I'm going to do that. He's a big Frisbee golf, disc golf. Sorry, didn't mean to offend the disc golf fans out there. Joe's.
I had no idea, but that tracks. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you? That show was hilarious. No, I'm like trying to talk about his comic, and he keeps like, he was like, usually it's like I'm the one that you got to reel in sometimes, right? And I'm true. Like, I'm trying to talk about his book, and I'm like talking about Knights and King Arthur and shit. And he's like. But wait, they just throw frisbees at a net made of chains? I was like, I'm trying to talk about your book, Joe. Like, what is it? Like, I'm like, yeah, man. So that's so cool. Like, you're doing your first DC book for Rachel and Pride Week and stuff. And he's like, they have multiple frisbees, and I'm like, stop it, Joe. Like, it was crazy. He was cracking me up. He's awesome. Yeah. Anyways.
He's like. Yeah, one of those people who's like
you Mad Cave folk. You're all gems.
Always checking in to like see how you're going.
Yeah, he's good people.
Yeah.
Mad Cave knows how to pick them. I got to meet some of the like front of house editor people. Like they came to Kansas City for the 10-year.
Oh, who did you meet?
I met wow. I met the other Mark, Vice President Mark.
Mark Owen, lovely human being.
Yeah, he was cool. And I was like, Mark, what do you do at Mad Cave? And he was like, oh, I'm the vice president. And I was like, oh shit, sorry. And he was like, no, you're cool, man. And I was like, does everybody? I was like, do you have to like be named Mark to like be like upper management at Mad? And he was like,
Mark or Mike.
James, press James.
James is my editor on Kosher Mafia.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then wait, that may not be the right name. What's James's last name?
Emmett.
That's not the right James. Fuck. I don't know. I'm sorry. You guys know I'm bad. I can't say names. I had to like ask people 3 times before.
How high is Blake today?
I'm also high, but I can't. I didn't know that you were going to say who'd you like. What?
Yeah, list
names and socials.
Go through your mental Rolodex of people.
no one's ever going to talk to me about it. They're like, wow, Blake, it was great meeting you too. I made a short and posted on YouTube. Go watch it. I don't think they say their names in the short either.
I will probably know who they are.
Here, hold on. We can hold on. No, you gotta go. It's you gotta start. I was like, we could watch Blake's Buzz videos on Blake's Buzz Live, but no,
you're good. Yeah. So David T. Hazan on Facebook and sorry, I'm not Facebook. I am on Facebook. It's mostly for personal shit. Sometimes I add comic book people on there, but it's mostly like friends or colleagues in the industry. But so yeah, if you're like fan of my stuff, best to find me on Twitter and Instagram at David T. Hazan, and my website is davidhazan.com, and Blue Sky is at davidhazan.bsky.social.
God, it's so long and weird. I hate it. It's so dumb. Don't add them on Facebook, you weirdos. Don't
I mean, I sent you all of the info for today through Facebook.
We're friends. Like that's fine. We like
that's the example, right?
Yeah. But it is. I used to be weird when like I got back on Facebook and as like some comic people like, because it would be like, do you want to be friends with like this big comic book writer? And I was like, yeah, but I'm not going to send him a friend request on Facebook. That'd be weird. But so I used to be weird about adding comic book people on Facebook. But since Twitter's being so weird, like, I mean, that personal aspect of Facebook isn't like I think Mark Wade. I think that's the Mark Wade's only on Facebook, I think now. So anyways, but yeah, don't leave David alone. Leave David alone on Facebook, guys. All right, just buy his books and leave him alone on Facebook.
My books, leave me alone. Absolutely.
Oh, that'd be a good shirt. Buy my books, leave me. Oh, that'd be like, that's your con banner.
Buy my books, and on the back it says "Leave me." Con T-shirt. No, I found a Jar Jar Binks con T-shirt that I really liked. That just says "Yusa and Big Doo-Doo," and I need it so badly.
Wow, fucking Jar Jar.
Yeah. So Kosher Mafia, August. I don't know why I'm finger gunning, but it seems to be the thing that I've done today. Kosher Mafia, August. Nottingham 12 next week. 11 is already out. And we monthly through August. So August will be huge as it's the Nottingham finale and also the premiere issue of Kosher Mafia.
Oh yeah, that's a good. That's gonna be a good month for you. Are they coming out the same day?
No.
Oh, that'd be cool. Like that August 7th. Cool.
And I'm gonna be in the States during that time.
Nice.
So if anybody's going to San Diego, I'll see you there, and it's gonna be a good time. I know Gary is the beautiful, beautiful man, Gary Proudly,
who loves the covers in the book. Yeah, Gary's amazing.
I mean, Gary's just like he feels like my personal cheerleader at this point.
Yeah, I remember Gary telling me he got, or when he got approved for tabling at San Diego. That's gonna be awesome. I remember, was it last year or the year
When are they
before?
flying you out? That's the real question.
No one flies me out anywhere, dude. I don't get comps. I'm the
Look,
fucking
sometimes
only
I
person.
don't. So,
Okay, well, I was about to be like,
don't
I'm the
feel
only
too
person.
bad.
No, I actually never thought about it till the other day. The distillery, there's a distillery has a couple like influencer people on TikTok and stuff like that do their digital mark or do their sort of marketing now. And that one of them posted and she was like, what am I supposed to do with all these comps? And she's got like fucking diamond boxes. These boxes got like 30, 40 issues, and she's got a stack of these boxes. Yeah, she's like, what am I supposed to do with all these? And I'm thinking that they may give some of them extra for like giveaways or to like, but still, like, it was a lot of comps. And I was like, damn, I was like, we don't get the stuff we work on at the studio. Like, we don't get comps for shit. Like, the other day, my boss tried to get us comps of something, and they were like, you guys can have like the misprints. And my boss was like, nah, that's okay. Thanks though. And I was like, all right. It was just like, damn, I was like, so yeah, it was just, I was like, shit, comps,
I'm kind of getting single issues. Just like piling up here because there are hard sell at conventions, especially here.
Oh, really?
I wish yeah. Trades go like wildfire, but singles can be a bit tough, especially when you're like, I've got a whole stack of issue 11 and the rest of it, but I have issue 11.
Okay, yeah, I can see it. Yeah. Or like, do you have issue 1? Like, nope, all 6 prints have sold out. Sorry, like.
No, I think Mad Cave still has their like Mad Cave Legacy or whatever they called it.
Oh, really? I know there's
Nottingham #1. It has a cool has a Cully Hamner cover, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's the 2 trades. Yeah, you do have the 2 trades now. And there's 2 hard
trades. Tales from Nottingham's got a trade.
I forgot Tales. Is that gonna have a volume 2 as well, Tales?
I've not heard anything about it. There are a couple of stories that need to be collected somewhere.
Oh, okay.
My free comic book day issue needs to be collected somewhere. My Tales from the Cave 10-pager needs to be collected somewhere. So I think Mad Cave definitely have that on their mind. But
the omnibus, the giant hardcover slipcase omnibus that comes signed by all the creators. I'd buy it.
From your mouth to Mark London's ears. I'd say the first cab off the rank for that is not me though, but they'll do the Battle Cats hardcover before they come back to me.
Well, there are 2 hardcovers out. Volume 1 and Volume 2 have hardcovers.
Volume 1 and Volume 2 have hardcovers. I suspect Volume 3 will get one. I'm gonna campaign like hell for a slipcase, and we'll see.
That'd be sick. Sick. I need to pony up and do that because I was so scared when they came out. I was broke. I think I might have been unemployed when they came out. But like, I was like, I wanted it so bad, and then I remember I thought about it the other day, and I was like, man, I bet that had to have sold out. And I went and I was like, oh shit, it's still there. I need to.
Yeah.
Come on.
My hand got very sore from signing all those booklets.
Didn't know where you were going with that.
Anyway, if you're in the States or just generally abroad, to get something that's signed both by me and by Shane, pick up Volume 1 and Volume 2 hardcovers. They have a special bonus in the back matter, the first issue of each volume without the colors. So you're going to see Shane's gorgeous inks, and it's a lovely experience. Give me a me and Shane on a black, white, and red something like. Give me that.
You and Shane on a black, white on the black, white, and green, or the black and green, or whatever they're calling the new Ninja Turtle anthology at IDW.
I
Fuck, dude.
I have no connection whatsoever to the Ninja Turtles
I don't care.
franchise.
I
know
don't
this
care.
is criminal to like admit in front of comic book people, but I just Ninja Turtles. Same with like several other things. Like honestly, though, if somebody came to me and was like, "Do a Ninja Turtles," I'd probably figure out how to do it and do it well. But it's not something I'm exactly chasing.
I just wanted to see Shane draw Ninja Turtles. Now I found out you're not even a Ninja Turtle fan. You don't like,
Sorry.
man, he doesn't like blue box. Well, I guess he's come around on the blue box mac and cheese, supposedly. But I think one of the last time we talked,
I've come around on the mac and cheese.
Yeah,
I'm on board with the mac and cheese.
David was straight up like, "Oh wow, I didn't know I was talking to a wild animal who just eats mac and cheese out of boxes." Like
yeah, but I feel like also with mac and cheese, the steps to make blue box mac and cheese, you could just make mac and cheese. You know?
It's not a hard thing to make if you have like the cheese and stuff. But there is something about that powder. Oh, that powder, the cheese powder. No, but not the bad powder. Jesus Christ. G Fuel. I'm talking about G Fuel, guys. It's powder and water. I live on it. I live on that shit. It's amazing. I think that's why I'm losing a lot of weight, because I just don't eat and drink water and G Fuel all day. It's healthy, right?
As long as you drink that water, because
as long as you stay hydrated.
Drinks will give you kidney stones.
Well, yeah, you have to drink water. No, I actually take the powder and mix it with Red Bull and then shake it up. It's like brew a coffee and dump a scoop of G Fuel in it. Oh god, that sounds terrible. Anyway. But yeah, I love this book, David, and I'm so excited for more of it. And honestly, like I feel like every new project you come out with, you keep leveling up. And then even with like, even as like Nottingham has continued, you've ramped up Nottingham. You and your co-creators, you've all done such a great job. So, dude, for real.
And I mean, you've read 4 of the 5 issues. If like what happens at the end of issue 14. So like, the big question is, what is there left? And the answer is, so much.
I'm ready. I feel like I always feel like you're gonna surprise me. Even when you were like, I'm doing like a haunted house magic story thing, and I was like, oh so and like, even then I was like, nothing could have prepared me for that. Like even when you like when we talked about it for an hour, so yeah, you're always surprising me. I'm always excited to see what you got coming out, and I love that. I love your desire to tell better stories every time, man.
If you and this is I promise this is my last bit of creative wisdom, but like, if you aren't like actively trying to get better at this job, again, you clearly don't love it. Like, what's the point? If you think you're perfect, you've already lost. Like, I don't know.
We've always got shit to learn.
I've never looked back at my work and gone, damn, that was like perfect and flawless. And I think that's important, because that's how you grow. Yeah,
that's dangerous. Yeah, you something can always there can always be another draft, right? Like sometimes you just got to be like,
but also it's comics. You just got to get it out the door.
Yeah, you just got to get it done.
And like, you can look at something and think it's perfect at the time, and then if you look back at it and still think it's perfect, 3 or 4 years down the track, sometimes it's the case. Very rarely, there'll be things, and you look at it and you go, I could have done this better. And knowing how you could have done that better is a sign that you're growing.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And being able to take critiques and feedback and not freak out is another good sign. But yeah, man, I'm just fucking proud of you, dude. You're just fucking killing it. That's awesome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Very excited for these books, and it's been an interesting, just like the sort of emotional hangover of like writing that last page of Nottingham.
Yeah, that's got to be a trip, like signing off, right? Like,
speaking of signing off,
yeah, No, yeah, follow
Wait.
David, keep track of him, and definitely pre-order these books and the stuff we've talked about. If you haven't read it yet, you got to read it. Love more, hate less, read comics. You know how we do it. I'll be back tomorrow night. You'll find out in the morning who it's gonna be. It's gonna be hopefully another fun chat. But yeah, David, I love you. Always a blast. You're always welcome here anytime. And unless you got anything else left to say, I'll play this music and let you free. Set you
Play
free.
me off.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.